Hello everyone, welcome to the reflection video for 8th grade. This is actually the end of year stuff. I'll eventually get it out. It will come out soon, I promise. One of them's actually done, but there's 3 videos this time. What is this one? Ooh, mysterious. We'll have to figure it out. Not now. It's an 8th grade video. Freaking Discord notifications. Hang on. We gotta, whoa, there I saw it. It popped up. There it is. Let's quit that. There we go. Mac OS, my guy. Okay, so here is the 8th. No, this is the other thing. This is the 8th grade video. Wait, there it is. We got it. So, as you can see, this timeline's a bit of a mess over here, and it's definitely less of a mess over here, and that kind of plays into the whole theming of the video, right? The whole idea that, like mistakes and, authenticity and that whole thing of how you can cover yourself up with this kind of editing and production and script writing and stuff like that, where this is ideally more real and authentic, even if it took me a number of takes to get that take. In fact, I can show you over here well, not that one. This one is me meeting Dennis and Zach at Shrekfest, but all of this, 2021 was that, and then if we go back over here, 16, 15, 14, not all of them got imported, but all the missing numbers here, so 15 through like 20 and all that was all takes of me sitting here going through this, and they're all varying lengths too. So the whole deal is the one I eventually went with was 15, which is here, and that take is 4 minutes. But the one after that was 6 minutes, and the deal was I just kind of improvised based off of the bullet points I had in the script that I pointed out there, right? And so I kind of sometimes went longer, sometimes went shorter, but ultimately I didn't want it to be longer necessarily than this part of the video. I wanted them to either be around equal in length or this be shorter. So having this go on for 7 minutes, there's just no reason for me to talk that long. I can get my point across in less time. And then these two I did get across, and this one I got across in less time. But, I don't know, I just didn't like it as much. And here I'm also not wearing this one I think was on the old camera too. So that also plays into it. Because if you go over here, this is a different shot. This is a different shot of me walking in. Because I had that camera, and then I got a new camera. I got a Canon T6i, refurbished one on Black Friday. And so then I was like, I'm going to go back and refilm the walking shots too, because they look a bit cleaner also. So there was that aspect too. So it was like, I probably went out into this park like maybe 4 days in a row recording the same stuff. And so it's kind of interesting how it's like, this is supposedly more authentic, but really it took like tons of takes in 4 days of work, right? And that kind of plays into that whole insecurity aspect of like, even this part that's supposed to be genuine and raw and not really have much production behind it still had tons of time and effort put behind it because I wanted it to be perfect. And I still don't think this is perfect, but I thought at that point it was kind of like, well, the more I do it, the less genuine I'm going to sound, so I might as well just go with this take and call it a day. But if I were to cite a least favorite part of the video, it would be this part, right? Because it's not this part of the video, but yeah. And I even did here's some other things too with this part of the video before I get into the real mess. Even on this supposedly raw footage, right? I did color correction, exposure correction, things like that to make it look as, I don't know, as much like the actual park looks as possible. I didn't want it to look like dulled out, which is kind of how it looked originally. If you pull this up, then you're not getting it kind of looks dulled out as you pull that down. So I kind of played with that a bit. So it's like all these different things played into this part, which is supposedly untouched, but everything is touched. Everything always is touched. If you watch a video, you're like, this is raw footage. It's like, it's probably altered to some degree. That's just how the world we live in, right? So now let's get into the actual mess over here, which definitely, I spent more time on these 5 minutes than I have on some 20-minute videos. I would say these 5 minutes took me about as much time as maybe the Chronicle video or maybe the reviews video. not, I mean, stuff this year, I definitely put more time into each thing. Like the Queens of the Stone Age video took me a while even, and that would probably be the lowest production level that came out in 2018. I'm still used to it being 2018. I'm recording this on New Year's Day. So anyway, so let's go into here. So the main thing is I originally had MML intro, but I was like, this is a video about 8th grade. Oh, I didn't expect that to play on the TV. I have it. There we go. The way I'm recording my display means that my display is on a TV. So I just tugged on that cord. Hopefully we're still recording. Yeah, we're still recording. We're good. I'm just breaking all the fourth walls right now. I hope that everything sounds good. Second channel woes. In this mess, so we got this animation, which originally it was just, this is a video, like this wasn't moving. No, this was moving, but then this eventually, I had a grow animation where originally this just popped in. So I do like pop-in, like, you know, as much as I'm, like, in the Monopoly video, I'm like, I'm not going to have any hard cuts, and stuff like that, you know what I mean? Like, I do like pop-in effects. I do think that they sometimes really, really work, but, here I like this, and that was thanks to, James D is the YouTube channel. He was like, hey, you should kind of make it look a little bit better. I was going to have it do like a little like rebound effect too, like have it grow a bit bigger and then pop back in. Not pop back in, but like settle in afterwards, but I didn't do that here. We got that. Go in. I did a little like the cutout thing. This is an alteration to a default title sequence that exists in Final Cut Pro. Doing this in Motion on its own is extremely difficult because Motion's a finicky program. After Effects is probably really easy to do that, to be honest. So you do that. You got this. We're cutting some stuff. I try to make the transitions as like unbothersome as possible, but with some of them, it's just very dramatic, I guess, to a degree. Like here, I was like, oh, let's have it be like, I originally was like, let's have it be a lens flare, but then I did a bloom effect instead because that kind of went into the light of the screen a little bit. And then what you do over here is as we're fading things in, then it's all this really is, like the main thing I used in here is blend mode. So here it's just a normal blend mode because it's just sort of slowly fading in, right, in the background. But if you go over to the chaos, right, if I go into the chaos, all of this is different blend modes. So you go here, and that's an overlay blend mode because that's sitting over top of the thing that's already underneath it, right? Then over here we have normal blend mode, right? That's the normal paperwork stuff, and the paperwork is legal documents pertaining to what I was saying in the script. Here's this is actually the first clip of one of the first videos on this channel. You can find it. It's still there, still public. I think I still have it public. Maybe I don't. So that's screen, that's silhouette luma, and basically what these things do is they just sort of affect how what parts of the image are shown first. So you have like layers, but the deal is that as you blend layers, it's saying, okay, let's only have this come through. Let's only have this come through. It's basically like a filter. So if we change it to, let's say, normal, then all you're going to see is this layer and then everything above it, right? You're not, or actually because we're at 40, so you're going to see that, but like let's say we pulled this up to 100, right? Now you're only going to see this, right? But then if we change it to color dodge, then you do see the stuff underneath it because it's just dodging the colors that are in the things below it. So all the white basically turns into that image. Or if we go into hard light, then that's going to play into it a little bit differently. Or if we put in like stencil alpha, like that actually you can't really even see it. And all of them it's something you just kind of have to play with. Like I could explain all of these rules and how they kind of play into each other, but it's all different stuff. I'm going to undo all of that. And then here we got the Germany vlog also. We got a judge gavel. I think this was just stock footage. Yeah, that's stock footage. And then here we have Better Call Saul footage to get the judge himself intimidatingly looking over, the whole thing. So it's like a lot of these things are just a whole mess. And we got red overlay, made the whole thing turn red instead of using like color correction because it was like I didn't want to color correct that. I would rather have it come in like that. So it's things like that, like when you do that, like as you go through and make it like a total just ridiculous chaos, have all of those things clash with each other. You have to be really precise about making sure that everything is blended in a certain way, or else you're just not gonna notice something or see something, and then the things that you want to show aren't being shown. So that's a thing. We got that. We got the same animation again over here. Playing it over here. Now we're getting into more of traditional essay territory. We're getting into like the Bo Burnham section, where I'm not talking about 8th grade, but I'm talking about Bo Burnham. And the whole idea behind the script, right, is that I'm restarting multiple times and I'm covering slightly different topics, but it sort of all plays into this same theme of basically everyone being insecure in how they express and communicate themselves, regardless of the medium they choose to do it. So it's like I'm communicating to you through a video essay, but that even my own personal experience and insecurity can't hide that. Like there's no objectivity, right? I might make a video in 2019, like a sequel to the reviews on objectivity. I got into an admittedly way too long discussion with someone on Twitter over subjectivity that was a response to a certain YouTuber who will not be named making a ridiculously long, unnecessarily long video, and part of that video was talking about how he's actually objective because he's making objective claims, and I'm like, that does not make anyway. So I might make a video about that, but the theme of, subjectivity and your own experience playing into everything you do basically is sort of the backbone of this video to a degree. It's like my experience with, my upbringing, right, it makes me relate to Kayla's character because of her upbringing, which is why I like the movie as much as I do. It's not just that it does things technically well. I can say that this is one of the best movies ever made, but that doesn't mean that you'll like it because your experience might not line up with that. And so that's kind of what I was going with Bo Burnham here. It's like Bo Burnham is this comedian I really looked up to because he came up from this YouTube space, but it's like, how many other Bo Burnhams are there? Am I actually really jealous of Bo Burnham? And like, no, I'm not really, but it kind of worked for a good transitional segment. And there's always the element, right, of like, oh, I'm trying really hard, and then, certain things that I make don't get the same exposure as other things that I make, and why is that? It should just be that the better thing, if you make a good thing, then people should watch it, but when that's not really how it works, right? Bad things get all manner of good reception all the time, but also bad things aren't necessarily bad to everyone also. So there's this whole set of layers of just subjectivity and discrepancy that sort of plays into how people consume media and view media and express themselves also. So then I took a clip from Funny People, going in here, got his YouTube channel, some animations. That's a fun time. This is also text blend mode if you go into here. So you got this, and the text is just literally a blend mode. It's just like, oh, difference. You just contrast the thing. So if you ever wanted to do that effect, that's how you do it. And also it's the same in Premiere too. All of the blend modes are exactly the same in Premiere. I think it's a common dialect, but I'm not sure. I don't know whether that's the case in, say, DaVinci Resolve, right? But it is. So then we got my channel again. This time it's a different blend mode also, and I applied a bunch of effects to it, whatever. Over here, 8th grade, again, same thing. Going here, it's the same first shot as in the first thing. I got a little pretty woo. And then we go over here, we got the curtains. We got some neat animations there, which are fun. Kayla's in Heating Her Own Advice. Now we're kind of getting more into like a more normal MML's commentaries video, maybe. Like, that's fun. We got some reviews over here, Let's talk about some reviews for a bit. Hashtag not a review. All of that. I always liked this shot. I thought this shot was one of the best shots in the whole movie. It's sort of, I made a similar shot in my reviews video, except it's more, you see her face here. And the reason why is because you want to see her, like, it's that character that's important, but the darkness of just, she's in this dark void, right? Her expressing herself, no one watches her videos. So her shot here is like so good because it's representing how her videos are performing online and how she responds to it and how she's expressing herself through the lighting in the room she's in. Like, if this is her video and this is the rest of the internet, like, it's just, I love this shot. I think this shot's fantastic. Go through, we got this is a neat thing, like, going here, and like I time the cut to like, oh, everyone thinks they're special, haha. That's fun. As we go over here, we're getting into more motion graphic stuff down here, which is always fun. I did most of this in Final Cut because it's just basic text movement, but it's like neat. You go like, oh, principal's dabs. Wait, principal, the spacebar didn't work for some reason. There we go. Principal wants to be cool. Kennedy, I hate that there's a shadow there, but we had to have a shadow there, else it wouldn't work. Riley, all that. And then we go in here, and then finally we're at like the real madness, which is more of just the blend mode stuff that I was sort of talking about earlier, right? So this is just the same exact set of the same exact intro, right, turned into a compound clip, and I just played it over and over and over and over and over again, right? So that's always going, and then there's slight adjustments to it too. So you're gonna play? No? Okay, there we go. Then it does that. It's going through its different zoom levels, different things like that, and that's going through. And then what you do, right, all you do to place emphasis on different things is all you do is just change the blend mode, right? And maybe you change the opacity level of something. You have the script scrolling under, where is it? Is the script scrolling up top? Script scrolling's up top. We got Bo Burnham over here, so you see him right there. And then I'm over here because that's a different blend mode. So it's like this is basically, I think here on the, where is it? I need to find it. Or is this? No, this is this clip. So I put this. This is over top, but it's underneath the script because it's doing a hard mix through the script, hard light through this script, which is an overlay. So it gets rid of all of the white in the script and replaces it with all of the color in the shot underneath it, which is this one. So that's fun. Then over here, you'll get to see some Easter eggs. So this is just a loop of this is in 8th grade by Bo Burnham. This is 8th grade by Bo Burnham. But then it didn't sound good on its own. It just kind of felt like repetitive. So I needed some other voice clips. So I just took some really interesting stuff. So here I took some bits from the script itself, which were just various parts of the video. Here is a clip from the Super Mario 3D World race I did when I was a Let's Player. This is the first Let's Play I made on the main YouTube channel. Not my first Let's Play video ever, but it's like, welcome folks to Donkey Kong Country 3. This is a clip from the M&M reflection on this channel. So I just took some random stuff, but it sounds really cool. This is a clip that was intended to be for Hyperion's overcoming emotional anxiety through a motivational rapper video, but I submitted it after the video was uploaded, and I didn't even realize that the clip he was asking for was in the video. So he basically asked a bunch of people to say this thing, but through my first viewing of it, I never even heard that clip. It wasn't until I rewatched the video again later, I was like, oh, that's what he wanted submissions for. But I recorded it anyway before I even realized that and sent it to him. He's like, oh, that was for the anxiety video. I'm like, what? And then I found out it was, and so then I was just like, I might as well use it for something, so we have that hidden in there somewhere too, which you might not notice it because it's just in this mess. So that's always fun. So yeah, this mess honestly is it took a long time to do. It's really simple when it comes down to what I did, but I love this clip. I'm super, super proud of it. There's a reason I threw it in my reel. You might have seen I put my editing reel on this channel. But there's a reason I included it, just because it's just exactly, frame by frame, exactly what I want it to be. Because it's just perfect. This is my favorite part of this video, and it's because it took me so much time to do, but it's just it's exactly what I wanted it to be. When I pictured this video turning into total madness, I was like, this is kind of what I wanted to do, and then I just made it happen. And that's always so cool, because a lot of times when you're doing something as a creative person, sometimes you're like, I want to do something, and sometimes the most exciting things you do as a creative person, whether it's in writing or computer science or video editing or visual art or audio or music or anything like that, a lot of times you're like, I want this to happen, and you don't know exactly how you're going to do it, but you have the tools at your disposal to make it happen. You have the software, right, to make it happen, or you have the the knowledge base to make it happen, but you don't know exactly how it's going to perfectly fit together. And then you do it and you just work at it and you keep messing with it and you keep tinkering with it. And then eventually you get something that's exactly the way you want it. And it's just so satisfying. So that's why, I mean, this is my favorite video that came out this year, and from me, I mean, my favorite video that I made this year. And this is why. This segment here, more than anything else, is why. It's because most of the time when I make a video, it's like, it's close to what I want it to be, but it's not exactly what I want to be. And that's the same with this video, right? Like I would have done this freaking talking segment over here like 1,000 more times if I could, but I think I would never get true perfection there. The point is it's supposed to be imperfect. Where here, this is just like, boom. I'm just so happy with that. The only other thing I want to mention is this clip here where you have her, and that was just basically I'm not good with like special effects. That would probably be my weakest part of like video editing stuff, but this was just a mask and then blend modes again, but I did most of it in motion. So I have this, right? If I were to, no, I have to mute the other layer, so I go boom, and then you can kind of see what we're doing here. So we have this layer masked, right? So that's just a mask on the layer. Then we have this, which was just a bunch of visual effects placed over her. And then behind that, we have this, which is just that sky, basically. And that was fun to make. It wasn't too hard, but it was fun to make. So I think that's the whole video. I don't really have much else to say. Like I know with the Eminem video, I sort of like had this crazy side rant about like what I was kind of talking about, some of the feedback I got. But really, the main thing with this video is it's sort of like, you know, you can kind of pull from it whatever you want to. I mean, there's a video by Lindsay Ellis that went out today or yesterday about Death of the Author, right? The idea that it's like, you know, authorial intent, I guess the analytic, the mindset or means with which you analyze something, where the author's intent doesn't really matter, right? And she was using the example of Hank Green's All in the Stars, where basically Hank's opinion is that, you know, I wrote the book and what's in the book is all I wanted to be in the book, and I didn't really, there's nothing else beyond what's in the book, and it's up to you to pull from that and figure out what the rest of the, you know, what else you want to pull from it, right? And, you know, I think with, you know, a lot of, you know, any sort of, like, in the video essay sort of space, right, a lot of times people are just going to explicitly tell you exactly what they're saying, and then you finish it, and you're like, okay, I don't need to hear anything else, because that's exactly what they said, and that's all they needed to say, and you come out of it feeling that way, where I hope, my hope was with this video is that, like, this didn't answer every question, and that most of the questions were still up in the air, and you kind of had to fill in the gaps and pull from what you wanted there to kind of go from there. When Hamish described my video, because a lot of people went to my channel, watched after Hamish gave me a shout out, which I'm eternally grateful for. But he described this video as being a look at the existential crisis of being online, where I would view it as not the existential crisis of being online. I would view it as the existential crisis of being. But I think as Hamish is an online figure, and as you know, the movie is about, you know, to some degree the internet age and how it affects young people, that resonated more with him. So who am I to take that away from him? Buddy's coming in to say hi. Buddy the dog. It's Buddy the dog. He's gonna say hi. Anyway, that's all I really wanted to say on this. So, yeah, that's my reflection. And, like I said, the, end of year videos will eventually be out, I promise. This one is done. This is the album of the year. It's basically done. Oh, that's a spoiler. I'll have to, like, cover that up when I edit this. The game of the year is not done, nowhere near. And then this third one, haven't really started, but that's the third one that's going to go out. So, that's it. I'm going to go now. Later.